This is getting there. This is getting there.
Thank you guys for coming, by the way. It's gonna be awesome.
No worries.
Yeah.
I can just throw one of these
It's
in
called,
there.
yeah, that's right. It's called Hard Conversations, but easy conversations.
Hard for Aaron.
Preload. Looks like probably 10 seconds, I think we're going. Either 10 seconds or a minute and 10 seconds. I'm not sure. No.
Okay. Yeah, I think it starts at 3:30.
303. No, 304. Yeah.
And you Tony mentioned you found them flyers.
Oh yeah.
You have to find. Is it right here? Okay, good.
I'm always.
Okay, let's go.
Always ready.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Can I trade you pins?
What was that joke you told me about lettuce? And how
I know
we
a million.
remember-
Honeymoon salad, let us alone.
Let us alone.
My two children, Hedda and Romaine.
Yes. She's like, I know them all. Because the last thing, I just remember you told me, and then it was like, it didn't resonate that you're giving me a nod to how to pronounce it.
Oh yeah, no, I always say
It's like
pronounce
what?
like the vegetable.
Like the rest of them. And it's stuff.
Because otherwise people are like, is it let's or
Of course.
let's?
That's where I went straight to
Pronounce
let's.
it's pronounced like the vegetable.
Just like that.
Yeah, I have a son named Lion, so I always tell him lion, like the animal.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to bring us in?
Sure.
Okay.
And welcome back to Hard Conversations, brought to you by Pillars and Bridges. We're here in the Common Good Radio Show block with Pastor John McClain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we have some awesome guests with us today, Miss Ann Lettuce and Mr. Leon Briggs. We're going to hear from them a little bit about some of the issues that are going on in the community, how they've been plugged in and what they're doing, and how folks can get involved and support. And that's what Hard Conversations is all about. We say that sometimes the most important conversations are the hardest ones to have, but the fact is that we got to sit down and talk about stuff because there's things going on that folks don't know about, that are ill-informed about, or that they want to know. And we're here to help amplify that message.
Mm-hmm.
So John, thank you so much for having us. Leon, thanks for being with us. And Ann, thanks for being here as well. So we're gonna
Thank you for having me out.
Absolutely, brother.
Oh.
You got it. You got it. And so we're gonna go ladies first. And Miss Lettuce, if you would just tell us kind of some of the work that you're doing in the community, how you got involved with, please.
Right now I'm involved with the Community Collaborative for Social Justice and community safety. And I got involved with that when Doyle Morrison from the Pima County Justice Services Department had heard me as one of the family presenters at TPD's crisis intervention training for their officers, and he asked me if I'd want to be interested in joining this. So I've been involved for a couple of years now with this collaborative as we start working towards, improving the justice services, and particularly with this grant, it's to decrease the jail population. So there's a number of different groups, and the group that I'm part of is the mental health and substance use group.
Sure. Now you said that you were there represented as a family presenter. Kind of what was going on there? What were you talking about?
So the crisis intervention training for the police department and other first responders is to help them with learning how to handle different situations, and particularly with people who have mental illness or substance use issues. And so on one of the days they have people with mental illnesses give some talks, and then they also give we talk I talk as a family member of somebody with a mental illness.
Okay.
And kind of tell my stories and some of the involvements in the past with law enforcement that didn't necessarily go well, and why their crisis intervention training is so important.
Wow. And so you and your family have had some of those experiences personally?
Yes.
Where things didn't go so well?
Yes, it was a number of years ago before they would quite as many, what we call the CIT trained officers.
Okay.
But we did have a pretty unfortunate situation once.
Okay. And you know, so then as we're talking about getting connected with the community collaborative, and I know that was your kind of like specialty and focus in terms of mental health and substance abuse. What are you kind of hoping to see as an outcome of the work that we're doing?
Well, decrease the jail population. So one thing we're looking at specifically right now has to do with the transition center and how family members can be an important piece of that. So the mental health group is really looking at a couple pieces. One is just is educating the general community more, trying to see if we can get some of the things like mental health first aid reestablished in Pima County and some of the other things that just help people understand mental illnesses, particularly in communities that maybe have a little bit more stigma than some of the communities of underrepresented previously, communities of color.
Well, let's take a quick step back and like talk to me like an 8-year-old, because even though I'm in this field in some capacity, I've never heard of the community collaborative. And is that an organization, or what is that?
So the community collaborative is a MacArthur Foundation funded grant that
Okay.
Pima County is one of, I don't remember how many, very few areas.
Mhm.
I think, is it
Yeah,
9?
I believe it's under 10. Mhm.
Yeah, I think 9 communities throughout the nation, where MacArthur Foundation is funding a 5-year grant,
Mhm.
5-year grant to specifically focus on decreasing jail populations.
Okay, awesome. Okay, yeah, I was just I'm friends with Aaron, and we do a radio show together apparently, and he's kind of filled me in on this, but it seems like, and just like what homelessness is pretty much what I deal with, and some mental health, seems like there's some overlap, but we kind of have like our own world, and I guess that's where this grant comes into play, is like, how do we bring those overlaps together to work together?
One of the other groups is a group working specifically on the homelessness
Mhm,
issue.
yeah,
So
I can see that.
there are 5 different groups. And
Yeah.
like I said, we come together, collaborate,
Mm-hmm.
and that's, to so that we can, like, it's decreasing how much
Yeah.
it's siloed.
And what is your role within the community collaborative?
I'm just a member of the mental health, mental illness and substance use group.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for being so humble and
Yeah, I'm just trying to
kind
learn.
about that. You know, so Ann has been there serving with the collaborative
Mhm.
since its inception,
Yeah.
very beginning. Has been very committed to the work, and the work has faced some ups and downs. You know, we came through COVID, and so people fell off, things changed direction. A lot of what happens with this too, you know, the last few months or so, I'd say, we've been able to identify the fact that we have to approach this main problem through different lenses, so to speak. And that's why now Ann is able to really kind of serve as a chair, like a champion, specifically for the mental health and substance abuse. The other ones we're looking at are youth engagement. How do we reduce the jail population specifically through a youth engagement lens?
Mm-hmm.
Then we have specifically through justice reform. We have specifically through mental health and substance abuse. And we also have specifically through community involvement and support. And I think as we start talking with Brother Briggs, we're going to hear just kind of about community involvement and how things are going on there too.
Nice.
And then the last part, we've actually put together a committee that's specifically working on transparency and accountability within our plans. Because what we found is that people come up with ideas and we can sell it and it sounds really good, but how are we making sure things are being followed up on and followed through?
Mm-hmm.
And so we have a specific group that's focusing just on transparency and accountability. We have some amazing people from the university serving there with us, coming out of the Department of SIROW. And so they're there to build with us.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and so I did want to ask, and as we're making our way into the break, I just wanted to ask, how could people get involved with what we're doing? One thing, if you would put it out to them.
Well, I guess a couple things. One is certainly contacting Pillars and Bridges, or contacting Doyle Morrison down at Pima County Justice Services in terms of getting involved, and keeping an ear out for when we do community forums, or if there's a community education event.
Definitely. And then I'll say too, what is something that you would want to, if you just had a couple minutes and you could encourage other family members that may have people in their families that are dealing with mental illness or mental health challenges and struggles, what are some you would say to encourage them or empower them?
Educate yourself and get support. Yeah, I've been attending the same family support group for more than a decade now, and it's, even though my family member is currently pretty stable, it's still such an important part of every month that I go there and I'm with those people. And I've been through a number of different kinds of educational programs, and NAMI Southern Arizona does provide free of charge family education programming.
Sure, yeah, thank you so much. And I think, John, you guys you offer some services probably that help with that too, right, through the Veteran Rescue Mission?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's I think just like you guys, you've circled on, and it's cool having you here, and particularly with the mental health piece, and it's fundamental. You know, I think it's kind of, for us, it's a third of what we do. We run True Counseling, which is a counseling firm that particularly helps veterans and couples. And I don't think I could be able to do the other stuff if it wasn't for that piece. So that's definitely blessed work that you do. And like for someone like myself who wants to volunteer, wants to be involved, wants to help, wants more information, what does that look like?
I guess it would depend upon where you wanted to volunteer. I mean, you can volunteer at NAMI Southern Arizona. That's one of the options. They've got a lot of good volunteer opportunities. There's something called the Behavioral Health Coalition here in town that may have some volunteer opportunities. Any of the public mental health agencies are always looking for people to help out.
Awesome.
Could be just transportation, could be a lot of things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, we will talk about all that and more after the break. This is Hard Conversations, brought to you by Pillars and Bridges with Pastor Aaron Scott. I am Pastor John McLean of Veteran Rescue Mission. You guys sit right there, keep your socks on and your little mittens, and we'll be right back.
You got it. Thanks, man. Socks and mittens. Nice shot. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna get into you next, brother. Any specific questions you want me to ask?
I would honestly just like you asked her,
Just how we flow.
because what I'm really trying to do now is more of a community outreach. I mean, everything I do is to bring more of the community together.
Okay.
You know, like the car community has a horrible stigmatism, but at the same time, the car clubs do so much to raise money that they give away for all kinds of things, and no one recognizes that.
Got it.
They think the car community is like the worst in the world, but it's actually not.
Okay.
My goal is to get all the communities together, no matter what you drive, and be able to put on things in Tucson that bring thousands of people here to boost our community, to put money back into our community, to help with the issues we have with our homeless population. We were just talking about that out front. I wanted to work with somebody on actually putting something together where when I donate my money, I know where my money's going, and having it already set up, because I make money on community, and I'm a veteran myself. Desert Shield, Desert Storm for me. But it just, you see so many people out there, you see so many things going on, and honestly, it's truly heartbreaking. And you can't give that guy that dollar on the corner, because that's not really helping him. But you want to do something. Every now and then you just do it. But
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we definitely need to touch base.
We're gonna roll then. Yeah, we're gonna roll right through this.
Certainly. There you go. You got us?
Yes, sir. Man, I'm still getting down to the groove, huh? You got that custom made, man. We're gonna have to get one like that.
We need a
But
dance that goes with it now.
oh, the folks on YouTube saw your dance. They know how that goes. But hey, if you're just joining us for the first time this afternoon, welcome back. My name is Aaron Scott. I serve as the host for the Hard Conversations radio show, brought to you by Pillars and Bridges, where we recognize that sometimes the most important conversations are the hardest ones to have. And so we're here to amplify the voices of our community, to talk about some of the issues that are going on. we realize as Pillars and Bridges, you know, we want to build relationship between public officials and community members. We also want to try to help build trust in our community, period. And we realize that starts with a conversation. It can't stay there. It's got to move from conversation to action, but it starts with having an exchange of ideas, working together. And so I'm here with Pastor John McClain, the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. We have in the studio with us this afternoon Miss Ann Lettuce and Mr. Leon Briggs. And so hopefully you got to hear about some of the amazing work that Ann is doing to help with the community collaborative and specifically focusing on mental health and issues related to those individuals with mental health struggles and challenges, but also their family members.
And substance abuse as well.
Yes.
Which it seems like in a lot of ways they're hand in hand, just because that substance abuse piece, it didn't just happen in a vacuum. Like
I gotta stop you two for just a second.
What?
We don't call it substance abuse anymore. The term now we use is substance use.
Substance use. Excuse me.
Thank you.
Excuse me. Substance use. But to the point, it doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's not like just someone just like woke up. Oh, there's some good old drugs. Let's do them. There's something that they're trying to heal and remedy. And if we as a community can help find something else other than that drugs, they're gonna take it.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. So we're gonna make sure we go back and check that out. And thank you so much for the pointer, because sometimes just the language you use can be triggering, can go off. So I appreciate that. But we have an opportunity now to hear from my brother, Mr. Leon Briggs. He's been in our community serving for years. We learned that he's a veteran as well. So we thank you for your service, brother. But could you tell us, man, a little bit about what you're doing and how you got involved?
So some years ago, I ran into some people from Pillars and Bridges, and they were doing some outreach, and I was in the car community, and I was just kind of hanging out, trying to get to know people, and then I realized how great the car community is in Tucson. I mean, it's you got a lot of car clubs that are doing all these different events, and everybody thinks that they're putting the money in their pocket, but they're actually not. They're donating it to all kinds of things around town, you know, buying Easter baskets, clothes, toys for kids, things like that. And it just motivated me to kind of hang out with them a little bit more, because we're a like-minded group of people, a lot of veterans out there, a lot of people in need, just like y'all were talking about the mental challenges. We have a lot of that. Being an ex-military myself, you know, I personally go to counseling to make sure everything stays where it needs to
check
stay.
underneath the hood, make sure everything's okay. Yeah,
Absolutely, and I could have been one of those people that were the substance use, but thank God that there were people out there to keep me from going down that rabbit hole. And me personally, I want to help more with those type of things in the community. And the way that I do that is by putting on all kinds of shows and car meets and things like that, because I want to bring the community, the car community, together with the local community. And I feel like that would be a winning combination to really do more in our community if we're all working together. Take away some of the stigmatisms that you have about, you know, car club, street racing, and the takeover kids, because those are somebody's kids running around the middle of that intersection. And I just want to say this. You need to know when you're buying your kid a 300 to 500 horsepower car and they're leaving the house at 10 o'clock at night. You need to check on them. Because I've actually had to come home and tell my younger son that his brother had passed away, and it was in a car crash, you know. So I would not wish that on any family member, any parent. That's something I hope I never have to do again. So I try to put on a lot of events that are no nonsense, that are full of grown people and full of responsible people who want to be out there and have some great fun. I put on some large car shows that were actually surprised me. I've done some car meets, and I keep things like that going on, and it's open to the general public. Doesn't cost you a dime. I like doing those things because it gives you an opportunity to really sit down and talk to a lot of different people. So I'm gonna let Aaron ask me a couple questions.
I got you,
see,
man.
I can go.
Come on, man. But you know, I want to say thank you so much, because actually you just gave us a taste as well, you know, right in the second segment here of the hard conversation. And first you said, you know, hey, listen, if your kid's getting ready to go out there and they got that kind of a vehicle, you better check in with them.
You need
you
to.
know, and I appreciate that, man, because that, once again, that's one of the most important conversations you could have.
Exactly.
Right? Letting them know that, man. But and I also just want to, you know, for your loss, brother. Like, thank you for sharing that with us, and I'm sorry to hear
I look
that.
at it like this. God wanted him, God took him because he needed for something else.
There it is.
So, I mean, I'm not the most religious person in the world, but that's what got me through it. I mean, it's still a soft spot in my entire family,
Of course.
but his funeral and everything that went along with that was so eye-opening to so many people that it could happen to you, that it served its own purpose. You know, as much as it hurt my family, it probably saved a few others. I mean, you know, just kids don't think, because we were kids. We all thought we were invincible. We did all kinds of things. I mean, I joined the military because I wanted to be a hero.
Way too much Rambo.
Too much, way too much. But, you know, we were all heroes in our own way, and we did what we needed to do, and we did it for our country, and I definitely love my country, and I love my community. So I just felt like I just want to keep doing the things that make me smile, because I love to give just like everybody else out there. We all love to give. We just need a reason to give. And the best reason in the world is because there's somebody out there that's struggling. So take the time, find yourself a charity, doesn't matter what it is. Give them some of your time, give them some of your money, because one day that could be somebody in your family that needs a little help. Everybody needs a helping hand.
Thank you, brother, man. And you know, I wanted to hear a little bit about For the Streets, because, you know, once again, man, you are giving us a good rap right now, but knowing that you walk the talk as well, man, you walking it out. And so tell us a little bit about For the Streets, kind of what you're doing with that group. And then it looks like y'all got an event coming up, the Pull Up 8, end of the month.
Yeah, so the Pull Up 8 is a free come as you are, don't care what you drive, what car community you're from. And I'm hosting that over at Iron John's Brewery at 5350 East Broadway, right off Broadway in Craycroft. And I want everybody from every community to come out. We're gonna have some food, we're gonna have some fun, and we're just gonna hang out, talk about cars, meet some people, hopefully meet some young people, and get them with some older people to give them a little bit of guidance so that they're not the takeover kids. Street racers get a bad rap because of the takeover kids. Because let's be honest, we all did it. They're never gonna stop that. But the respect of the street racer is going way out to the middle of nowhere, where if you get hurt, you're the only one that gets hurt. I mean, I don't want that to happen, but the truth is, we all know that's never gonna stop. Speedway's named Speedway for a reason. And For the Streets is for the people in the streets working hard to make the community better. That's what it really means. And I have TikToks and all kinds of groups. It's either For the Streets or For the Streets Tucson. And I put out information on legal things that are going on. I mean, if you really want to go to the Arizona outlaw racing, there's actually a place for that, where they have people out there that if something happens, they're going to get you to the hospital. They're going to do everything they need to do. And just to, you know, let people know, street racers are not the people you see running up and down the street in traffic. That's not them. They're going to race. They go way to the middle of nowhere, and they race where they can't hurt you or anybody else. Only people they're putting in jeopardy is themselves. Now, the people you see in the intersection, those are what you call takeover kids. And those are your kids with the 300 plus horsepower car that you don't know where they are. So, and they're putting on hoodies and they're smacking cars. I mean, as a kid, not getting hit by the car was kind of the thing. But now it's like, that's what they want to do to prove how tough they are. That's just unimaginable to me as a parent who lost a child. I would never do that. And then I'm also putting on the 14th of April at the Desert Valley Church. Going to start at like 12 p.m. to about 5 p.m. I'm doing a come as you are, bring your own tent, bring your chairs, bring your grill. We're going to be parking on the grass with a drip pan, and we're going to be, I'm providing the spot and a DJ, bathrooms on site. And if you don't want to cook, I'm going to make sure somebody's there to take care of that, because I want the community to come out as a whole and meet each other. Get to know each other, take a lot of the stigmatism away, because I am a car guy. And I love to do community things. I love to have everybody there having a great time.
Man, you know, I really appreciate we talking about the intergenerational, because that's one of the places where so much just there's chaos in this gap between the generations. And it's like young people trying to do new things, trying to find their own way, trying to, you know, make their own footprint. But a lot of times we end up getting into similar things and problems when folks done already went down this road.
Exactly.
Right? No pun intended, right? for the racing. But folks already been down this path. So can we find a new way, or can you just learn from where we have been so that you can take this thing further, right? Instead of getting caught up in some of the same kind of hangups.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. And that's what I what really want to get done is get more people into that. And the way that you do that is not to attack them, but to invite them in. So I invite a specific group called Midnight Racing Rivals. They're a bunch of young people, and there are professional young people out there who, they're plumbers, they're pilots. They do all kinds of computer programmers, creators. And these are all young people who went from that scene to a more stable and profitable scene, and they're still doing exactly what they want to do, but they're being more safe about it, because safety is number one.
Yeah.
Not going through trauma that affects you, that makes you become a not abuser, but a drug user, and that's the goal, because it's all traumatic.
Sure. And when I hear about this too, it makes me think about how, man, you talked about building like responsible communities, but I think that also this idea that goes hand in hand, like we need responsible people to build responsible communities, but you also need responsible communities that's gonna hold those folks accountable.
Absolutely.
That when you start doing some stuff that's putting people in jeopardy, that's once again kind of like creating unsafe situations for folks that they were just trying to go to the grocery store. I was just trying to come to the radio station. John was just trying to help a veteran get to his benefits.
Right.
And now they're just driving down the street and they're in danger versus like, hey, I'm not telling you don't raise per se, right? We're not telling you what to do with your time and your money and like that, but we're asking and we're kind of encouraging you to do it in a way that's safe and responsible.
Right.
For everyone around them.
There's spaces where you can do that that the city actually wants to come up with, and we can get you to leave it alone out there and just do it in a more safer environment.
There it is, man. Well, listen, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Briggs. Thank you so much, Ms. Lettuce, being with us. This is Hard Conversations, brought to you by Pillars and Bridges. If you want to join the conversation that leads to change, go ahead and visit us at our website, www.pillarsandbridges.org. We want to hear from you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Aaron. As always, thank you for having me. Thank you all for listening. We love your beautiful faces. We'll catch you next time. This is the Common Good Media Block. We got Hispanic Alliance's radio show right after this. You hang out right there, and then you'll find out how you can plug in with the Hispanic community next.
We did it, y'all.
I've had a little time doing this.